Me get a D in your city, that's a couple milli.
There is a whole lot of problems about to erupt in our dancehall and reggae space. Among the problems, the one that I want to zone in on is pricing. Because of the recent situation that took place with dancehall artist Vybz Kartel and the Trinidad promoters, right, which Vybz Kartel didn't show up at the show, and it has now been revealed that the overall ticket for Vybz Kartel's performance was 1.35 million US dollars, right? It opens a can of worms.
When it comes to what takes place now and how this affects the industry of Trinidad and Tobago, the entertainment industry, I can see that this leaves a bitter taste in the mouth of the patrons, and this is something that negatively affects promoters moving forward, because you're seeing slowly that the public will start to lose trust in promoters when coming with these regional and international acts, especially when it came off of the heels of that whole Keisha Cole incident. Now with this
Okay, boom, viewers, welcome back to the channel. Subscribers don't already know the thing set. We're blessed. You also know the story incomplete with minute upon a beat, and as you can see upon the screen, there's a whole lot of things that I need to clarify. You see, Master, first and foremost, you see, dancehall fraternity responding and defending Vybz Kartel against this pocket watcher, Irish Janchin. We see Konshens respond, Tony Matterhorn and Spragger. But I'm not going to read the comments out for you. You can press pause and read it to yourself. But I'm just going to say, bad mind and red eyes running very high. In the eye, yes, master, because this should have been his topic. UBS Arena, Barclays Center sold out back-to-back by Buju Banton, and Vybz Kartel is going to make these stadiums want to charge the promoters them more money, because them sister dancehall shot and it sell out, don't it, people? Put in the comment section what you think about that, because I don't like what I see. And this is why Tony Matterhorn tell him, say, enough for stop watch other people's things.
Because now, people figured that Kartel was expensive, but they didn't understand how expensive. Now, let me say this before I go further. Kartel will go down in history as the highest paid reggae and dancehall artist of all times. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know any other artist, right, that has commanded that type of money, right? So 1.35 million from Trinidad, right? And now St. Kitts has jumped in and they're like, oh, wait a minute, we're paying 4 million EC, which kind of approximately is like maybe, 100 and something, maybe 150,000 US dollars more, right, than what Trinidad paid. But in the midst of all of that, right, there's a bigger problem. The big problem is this: when the other reggae and dancehall artists understand that Vybz Kartel can command that type of money, they are ultimately going to raise their prices. There's no if, ands, or but about this. An artist that would normally ask for $80,000, and we're saying, boy, $80,000 is a whole lot of money, they're probably going to ask for $150,000, right? And now think about this. Artists that now have to do shows with Vybz Kartel, they're going to say, no, man, Kartel, I get $1 million+ for that show, ya. Me need X amount of money, right? This is going to get out of hand, right? So even though everybody's zoning in on one situation, which would be Kartel versus the Trinidad promoter, there's a bigger thing erupting and you're not even looking at it. Dancehall and reggae artists, I don't care how much they love Vybz Kartel, I don't care how much they want to say they're in support of his career, right? It's all about money at the end of the day, and they're not going to want to know that promoters are willing to spend millions of dollars on one artist, or $1 million+ on one artist, and willing to give them 50,000, 100,000, 150,000. So an artist who's now charging, let's say 500,000, right? His price is going to go up, as well as the artist who's charging 100,000. His or her price is going to go up, as well as the one who's charging 60,000. Their price is going to go up. Just wait for it, and remember that Chin told you all of these booking fees are going to go up as a result of everybody finding out what Kartel is getting in the marketplace.
Yeah, one thing I hate is that this and despise is a pocket watcher, because I don't see the problem with Kartel charging what he's worth. Only for no one worth, you see what I say? But anyway, let's proceed to the next. issue surrounding Vybz Kartel and him being paid $1 million and splitting amongst his team and bouncing on Trinidad, isn't it?
So that being said, I am not able to comment on the Vybz Kartel issue as the Promoters Association president, but I will give my personal opinion on it. Me being an entertainer, an artist, the past Promoters Association president, and an event producer myself, this is my personal opinion. One, I empathize with the patrons. That's who I would start with first in this entire thing, because a lot of the patrons were excited to see Vybz Kartel after such a long period of time. He has not been to Trinidad and Tobago. They were excited for the show. He was the headliner, so people going there, they definitely would have been disappointed on it. In terms of the issue of refunds, now I don't know what is the refund policy of the promoter. However, what I could say on that is if they are issuing refunds or partial refunds, it's going to be difficult for those of you who would have bought physical tickets to get a refund, because how are you going to prove that you actually bought that ticket? So that is on that issue. In terms of the contractual agreements between the promoter and Vybz Kartel, I have not seen that contract. I would not comment on that either, because I am not a legal professional. So I would leave that to the lawyers for them to review and see what takes place in terms of that. When it comes to what takes place now and how this affects the industry of Trinidad and Tobago, the entertainment industry, I can see that this leaves a bitter taste in the mouth of the patrons, and this is something that negatively affects promoters moving forward, because you're seeing slowly that the public will start to lose trust in promoters when coming with these regional and international acts, especially when it came off of the heels of that whole Keisha Cole incident. Now with this Vybz Kartel thing, you will find that patrons may be a bit skeptical in going to future events. So we're hoping that that does not happen, and that I want to say we have a lot of capable promoters here in Trinidad and Tobago. We have hosted numerous international acts, numerous international concerts, and they were well received by the patrons. So I would ask the public not to lose confidence in Trinidad and Tobago promoters, because they are capable and they do this all the time. The international acts now, it would also put some skepticism in their minds as to, well, boy, Keisha Cole went there and it was a drama. Vybz Kartel went there and it was a drama. And that's what we don't want to put out there in the international domain, where people having doubt about coming to Trinidad and Tobago for concerts. So I would definitely say we are guaranteeing them, international acts, that Trinidad and Tobago is a safe place to have your concerts, to come to Trinidad and Tobago to do it. The people, most of the concerts that you would see with international or regional acts, they ram out and people come there and they have a good time. So in terms of advice moving forward on the promotions and to the promoters, make sure you have contracts in place, make sure you have a legal representation there to review these things, to make sure and cross your T's, dot your I's, and have everything in place. To the patrons, let's give the promoters their support. This is not a joke and a side hustle for most promoters. You would see that we have an entertainment industry here in Trinidad and Tobago, and most of these promoters mind their families from this thing, and this is a legitimate business for them. So that's my piece on this whole thing. It was very sad, because I myself, I'm a Vybz Kartel fan in terms of his music, and I was looking forward to the concert. So it was very, very disheartening to see that this whole thing unfolded, and I'm hoping that he does return to TNT and has a proper concert, and that the patrons can go out and enjoy his music.
Okay, people, this is my take on the situation. First thing foremost, I know not all Trinidadians hate Jamaicans, but a lot of them do, and that may be the Indian ones versus the African ones. I don't know, but me just as say, it's not a good look. You know what I mean? And I don't think Vybz Kartel is being truly honest with the people them out there about the whole situation. Yes, the promoter failed to keep him end of the contract, so him is definitely getting the blame. But as we can see, the Trinidadian government does a good job of making dancehall artists them look bad. You know what I mean? And just what them are restricting and all of these things from the kids and all of these stuff, and it's not a good look on Vybz Kartel internationally. You know what I mean? I know him cancel, I know this guy wants to investigate where the money is coming from for pay a Jamaican, a dancehall artist. People putting at the comment section if it was Nicki Minaj or Drake canceling for the said reason per se. Would there be any investigation where the money come for pay them? No. You see me? And let's be honest, he wasn't the only one that pulled from the show. And this is why I always been saying lately, on a need for fix up on yourself and them small islands, yeah, because these people is making it look bad. But let's get to some mix-up, people. This has nothing to do with Joe or Reggae Sunfest, but this is what the streets is saying, because you know, so it's a cutthroat world in this business, yeah. And them must say Reggae Sunfest. Yeah, they put the plug down that shit, you feel me? Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, because you know, say, hey, you know what? Let me save that for our next topic, because honestly, people, Trinidad and soca is making the artists them look bad. And no, yeah, we have Joe, you see me? Who is Vybz Kartel's business partner, so if he thinks it's making him gonna look bad in America, whatever, it's whatever. And if him say, you know what, me not want this one music fest, we have one over Reggae Sunfest, well, you know what? Yeah. But I'm not trying to air that, because when they say him get the money, yeah, but him never get all of it. And this is why I included this picture, because let's not forget that Busta Rhymes cancelled on a festival in Jamaica where they are too, for the said reasons.
So, at this very given moment and at this very given time, we are celebrating the earth strong of my bona fide, when I'm a general them, and go by the name of Mr. Sashi himself, Romy. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you happy birthday, King. Happy earth strong. And to all the little idiot boy them we want to run them little idiot mouth. But the respect and the regard that I hold Romy in, one on can suck on a mother. In between time, we ain't gonna pay y'all too much attention. We're gonna show love, and we're gonna lift up and big up our brother Romy. Romy, manners and respect, you hear me? And make sure you enjoy the earth strong and the way you're supposed to go all the while. Family shit for life, King. Everybody out there in Jamaica, turn up for Romy. Everybody in the US, turn up for Romy. Romy, I salute you and respect to the max, King. Bless up yourself, you hear me, my brother? Honor General.
Yeah, at the end of the day, business is business. You see me, some people, and we're not going to long this out no longer, so definitely like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I drop the latest. Bless.